everyone. Have a little feedback happening here. Welcome to our new venue here tonight. Ooh, I'm a little squeaky, but that's okay. Maybe you're like me, and today was your first time driving over Grizzly Peak to get here in the dark, and you could see all the lovely lights in San Francisco. There is a lot of feedback happening. Okay. While we sort through some of our technology things, why don't we go ahead and stand up, get some stretches in. Maybe go ahead and just reach your shoulders up and let them go. Just shrug those shoulders and feel all the tension just kind of release out of them. Do that a few times. Maybe you roll them backwards a few times. I see lots of folks stretching up over the head, which is nice. Kind of feel your torso elongate as you do that. Nice. Making sure you get the other direction of your shoulder roll if you have not already. All right, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to one of my favorite shoulder upper back stretches. So you're going to take your arms, you're going to cross them like this. Oh, my jacket's not very stretchy tonight. This is going to be hard. And you're going to just try to reach those palms together. If you can touch them together, that's fantastic. If you can't, just do your best. And then if you can touch your palms and you want a little extra challenge, just go ahead and raise those elbows up. And you should feel nice stretch along your shoulder blades and in your back here. And just do it as far as is comfortable. And hold it for a few breaths. And then you can go ahead and let it go. And give it a nice shake out. And now you're going to do it the other way. This is going to be the really weird, it's going to feel really bizarre in this direction. We always do it the more natural way first. Same thing, you're going to fold those arms just as best you can, reach those palms towards each other, and then raise those elbows up just a little bit and hold for a couple breaths. We'll see lots of oohs and ahs from the back. Nice. All right, and then go ahead and let that go. That's a really good one if you sit a lot during the day, if you're working at a computer. I used to do that as a violinist a lot. That helped me kind of sort out. Yeah, and then let's please just kind of focus up front here. Let's go ahead and start in E flat major. We're going to go down. Here we go. Ready? I'll turn around at the bottom. Let's go down one more, and then we're going to turn around and go up. Now going back up. Good. Nice active vowels. Very nice. Don't rush. Here we go. Keeping the vowels active as we go up. Let's start in C major. Having nice rounded vowels, lots of space inside your mouth. Raise that soft palate up, a nice relaxed jaw. Here we go. Ready. flat and nasally, but they're nice and rounded. Very nice. Keeping that pitch up. Don't go flat as you go down. Very high there. Let's start in D major. We're gonna go down. Ready? As well at the bottom part of our range. Let's do one more. Good. Okay. Let's do a couple sighs on ah, and we're gonna do what we did, I believe it was last week. We're gonna breathe in for 4 counts. Feel your rib cage expand. Feel that air go down into your belly first and then expand up through your ribs. And we're going to do a sigh. We'll do 2 sighs on an 8 count and then a sigh on a 12 count. So here we go. Ready and in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And before we do the 1 and 12, remember that you should plan your breath, plan the distribution of your breath so that it's even throughout that whole exhalation, right? So you have even support all the way throughout and that you're going through your range, your whole range by the time we get to the end. So we're going to go in for 4. We'll do 2 out on 12 counts. So here we go. Ready? And in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very nice. Okay. I'll turn it over to Ming. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Please don't talk in here. Please don't talk in here. This room is much more reverberant than the other place. We have 3 people talking and it covers up everything. Just please don't talk in here. Before number 1, Paul, maybe start 5 bars. This is before the very beginning, page 8. 5 bars before you enter. And, he's not going to play it. Okay, so remember that this is like, these are like scenes in an opera, right? And so we can never take these choruses out of the context that they're in. You have to always be aware that you change from movement to movement, okay? Let's go back to the very beginning. In this room, I still don't hear the ending consonants or some of the other ones. And you know that in Hertz Hall, it swallows consonants. So we should sound very loud and sort of unbalanced here with the amount of consonants that we use. And if it's unbalanced and sort of over-present here, then in Hertz Hall, they'll be barely audible, right? And so you need to just sort of know that, hey, this is a space that's really reverberant. I should be hearing Lord, duh, right? And really have it be quite present. Let's start from the very beginning. Now, the key thing that I'm going to say about the entire thing is that you just need to breathe in time. I want you to feel like we practice breathing in the character, but also in the tempo. Because I just get a little help, Lord, instead of help. It doesn't sort of feel settled on where we enter. I feel like everybody's like, oh, I'm not quite sure where I'm singing, but that's because we're not breathing together. If we breathe together, then we're going to come in together. And if you breathe with an intention and the timing, then it's going to work. Okay? Ready? Just D minor chord. Right? 3, and. Yeah, that's exactly it, right? All of a sudden, the first chord was balanced. It was full. It didn't sound like we were shouting. It sounded just nice and resonant. And I heard the P. I heard Lord. Okay, make sure you're not singing Lord, but Laud, L-A-W-D, right? Now, the D was really great. I would encourage you actually to make it, remember that D is not, it's not going to be this long. It's going to be duh. It's not going to be duh. It's going to be duh. Lord, duh. Right? You need to feel like it's like really heavy. Right? One more time. D minor. 3 and up. That's it better. N. That's exactly it. N. Yeah, that's great. And then basses, remember that your first note starts the diminuendo, which means that your first note is still at this full volume, right? And then you get softer. Now, that's great. Now remember, Mendelssohn is really symbolic. He knows that the 3, 4, and 7 are like really powerful numbers in Judeo-Christianity, right? So when you have the third one, help, Lord, will. When you have the third one, it's not just help, Lord. It's help, Lord, will thou quite destroy us. And then you should make as much fun of the word destroy us, right? You should have ST, stro, you can have the R. You have all these consonants with which to color how pitiful, the scene is, right? Let's start from bar 5. Bar 5, the bottom system, the third help, Lord, right? Oh my gosh, C7, right? 5 of 3. 3 and 4. Now here we go. Basses. 1, 2, 3, breathe. That's it. Now sustain. Breath. And breathe. Breathe. That's it. That's exactly it. And breathe. And no. Bass. 3 and 4. Breathe. And breath. Basses, go. Deep tenors. Bass, deep. And that's it. And 2. ta. And tenors and altos take breath. And spreaders. Crescendo. Everybody in. Ancients. Yeah, but you hear the increased heartbeat of Paul. Paul, can you play your accompaniment? Listen to Paul's accompaniment, ready? And right? So we're going to allow what you sing to be affected by it. So it's not going to be, will then the Lord be no, will then the Lord be no more God in Zion. Has to be a little bit more anxious, a little bit more staccato even. It's not necessarily staccato, but it just needs to be a little bit shorter in an accent, right? Can we do from the bottom of page 11, second bar of the bottom system, the harvest now is over, right? So we're just going to do pick up into the third beat. Does that make sense? Or for the tenors and basses, there's no power come, okay? Right? I'll give you 1 and Paul and I will play 1 and 2 and you'll come in next. Ready? And 1 and 2. Breathe. Oh. That's it. Yeah, accent every single beat. Will, no, be. That's it. Crescendo and. Yeah, good. That's really great. Can you put a little bit more accent on the first and third beats? Will the Lord be no more God in Zion? You again, sort of have a little bit more vertical music than it is sort of horizontal. Less lyrical and much more sort of up and down. All right, one more time, same thing. Page 11, bottom system, second bar, 2.5 beat. Paul and I were still on the downbeat. And 1 and 2. And. And. Crescendo. That's it. Forte now. Get ready, tenors. And the will. Basses. Altos. The and 1 and 2. Altos. Good. And the harvest. Altos. The tenors and basses and don't end it. 1, 2. Yeah, exactly. So just note, put in your score, that whatever the fermata is, it's going to be 1, 2. It's almost going to be very much rhythmic, but there's no help from Paul, okay, or the orchestra. Now remember, we have to change the way we approach vowels and our R's. I haven't mentioned anything about R's yet. It's all over the place. But there's people that are singing, cometh to help us, and you just hear a completely different vowel from, like, there's 90 different vowels going on. And as a result, it doesn't sound like it's in tune, it doesn't sound like it's unified. It sounds really just sort of a hodgepodge. And the same thing for harvest, not harvest, power. That sounds so sort of not singing. It's not like a singing vowel at all. So you have to be much more aware of it. Let's do that a little bit. Now, tenors, can I hear you on page 12, last bar of the page. Okay? Just the harvest now is over, the summer days are gone. Okay? So do. Right? I'll give you 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. And breath. Yeah, good. So help us, wilt then the Lord. So make that note short. Make the on page 13, second system, second bar. Help us, wilt then the Lord. So you have enough time to take a breath before wilt then the Lord. Okay. Okay. Now remember that this is the other music. It is slightly faster, just a tiny bit faster, but it needs to be a little bit more lyrical, okay, but still rhythmic. So you need to make sure that this is a different character, okay? Let me hear the sopranos at the same place, which is page 12, last bar. Page 12, last bar. Only the last beat going into page 13. So Paul and I are going to do 1 and 2 and 3. Wilt then the Lord, okay? Can you give them a C? Okay, Paul and I, and 1 and 2 and 3. Wilt then. Yeah, so. Can you make sure that you're not taking huge steps down? Everything's quite a bit flat right now. Okay? One more time. Head voice. Right? Just keep it in head voice the entire time. Don't think about changing registers, right? One time, and 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah. Now, to me, that's sort of in between the sort of energized, anxious music and the lyrical one, right? And this is very distinctly the anxious one. So you need to make this a little bit shorter, right, and a little bit more with a little bit of bite. The tenors need to make sure that they're more lyrical, right? But for you, this is the second type of music, the much more vertical one, right? One time, and up. 1 and 2 and 3. Good. That's how. Yeah. And see now, even though we said sing that in head voice, it still has presence and fullness. So I need that for intonation and tone's sake, you should write in stay in head voice, right? Okay, because that makes a big difference. Now, what I want to do is do the bass line. Altos, just hold this for a second. Bass line, page 13. Bass. Yep. I'll just give you 1. Tum, da, da, tum, right? 3 and 4 and 1. Yeah. So you have some good exercises here. Wilt then the Lord, not Lord, be no more, M-A-W or ma, M-A, whatever, ma, God, not more God, right? Ma, God. One more time. And 1. Excellent. I hear, wilt then the Lord be no more. Wilt then the Lord be no more, right? So you can get 2 accents on those 8 notes, right? And then we're giving you a 3 and 4 and a 1, but that's your breath. 3 and 4 and breathe. Wilt then, right? 3 and 4 and breathe. That's it. Excellent. Going on N. N. Yeah, that's great. So you have what we call a sequence, right? You have some very similar music, and it gets a little bit higher each time. So each time it gets a little higher. The harvest now is over. The harvest now is over. The harvest now. It's like you have a natural crescendo that just brings it along. So feel free to get a little bit louder with that. Altos. What I'd love to do is actually start from page 12, last bar, And then we'll go into page 13 and continue where your music changes, right? But just for note's sake and for continuity, let's start from the last note of page 12. That's C, no, Zion, right? And Paul and I would go and play 3 beats the whole bar. 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3. Here we go, and 1 and 2. And the more God is, yeah, good. So you have this very difficult job because the music gets much more, like it builds and all that kind of stuff, and he has you going down, right, in a range. And so that is even more opportunity for you to use the articulation to show the change. So when you get to the last bar of page 13, all of a sudden it has a little bit more bite, it has a little bit more staccato. And that energy will give it sort of that idea that it's getting more intense, right? Even if the volume is not doing it. So what I want to do now is everybody go back to page 11, the same place we started before, which is the bottom of the page, second bar, second and a half. The harvest now is over, or no power cometh to help us. And then we'll change into this next section. So tenors, remember when you have more lyrical, the harvest now, or within the Lord for the sopranos. See if you can make a bigger distinction as we go through. Okay? Let's do, yeah, thanks. Can you do it one more time? Right? Here we go. 3. Now remember, I'm only giving 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So get ready with your breath. Just practice preparation, breath preparation every single time. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And breathe. Excellent. That's exactly it. Now during that, crescendo. Excellent. Forte. Tenors and sopranos. Basses. The Lord. And with the sopranos and altos, basses, basses up, and tenors, basses, always on, tenor. Yeah, that's so much better. Oh, sorry, friends, I should have gone on just to do it. But that's so much better of a vowel. All of a sudden you see there's like a chord there, right? That's what we're talking about when we say that we have similar shapes of our vowels. Because of the physics of the sound, it's easier for that to line up, remember? Because your mouth shape encourages certain frequencies in your overtones. And so when you sing the same vowel, then, or the shape of vowel, those line up. And that's how we have intonation that's cleaner than others, okay? Now, I'm really torn about this, but I really don't think we should have a breath in the bottom of page 14 in the first bar. Harvest now is over it makes perfect sense grammatically. Musically, it just feels a little weak. I wonder if we can do it without a breath. So this is the bottom of page 14, first bar. Yeah, I'm so torn about this. Because it makes grammatic sense, but it just all of a sudden, like, you get to this high point and then it would just dissipate immediately. And so I'm still torn about this, but let's try it without a breath. I just want to see. Can we start from page 14, top of page 14, second bar? And sopranos, just for awareness, we are going to go on to page 15, so I do want to practice that. But let's start right now, page 14, second bar of the page. right? Just right on the downbeat, right? 3 and 4. Altos. Tenors. Basses and no. Not That's exactly it. That's really nice. And the best you can do to sort of, obviously we're still early, but memorize as much as possible, because it's always going to feel completely naked. It's going to have no accompaniment. It's going to be just sopranos isolated alone. But that was an excellent breath, excellent entrance. It was really great. Now, I'm not convinced. Okay. So there's a couple things going on. First of all, in page 14, last system, when you get softer, there has to be a dramatic and emotional reason why you're getting softer. Right now, it just sounds like we're turning the dial and it goes, summer days are gone and yet no power cometh to help us. But it's like, and yet no power, you're like desperate at this point, right? And so I think as we get softer, you should maintain the consonants pretty strong. So it's not, over the summer days are gone, and yet no power cometh to help us. So it's a little bit more desperate, okay? So keep the consonants pretty strong. And then for now, let's keep the no breath of the over the sun. But right now it sounds like every single note is the same, so I hear this. Over the summer days. And there's no grammatical reason. Over the summer days are gone. You have to make the words have a little bit more color and intention. Same place, page 14, second bar. Okay? No breath right now. For now, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna do all the things, drama, circular breathing, whatever. Okay. And no. Altos, D. Tenors. Basses, in. The harvest is over. And the summer. And yet. That's exactly what we're going on. Nice. 3. One and 2. And 1. Breath. Yeah, good, yeah. That's excellent. That's really nice, okay? So, basses, the infant. Before a vowel, the word is the, not the. So, the infant children ask for bread. Make sure that's a very clear distinction, okay? Great rolled R for the sopranos for breaketh up to feed him. That was really great. Now, this next one we talked about, you have to make sure two things. Big number 2, that it is the same sort of rhythm over and over again. So the only thing that distinguishes it is the dynamics, right? You have to be very aware what the dynamics are for every single one, because every single one changes. And then second of all, that the tone of this is very different. You're in prayer at this point, so you're just praying the entire time. It should have a different color than, nobody's here to help us anymore. Lord, bound thy ear to our prayer. It's much more internal, inward looking, I would say, right? Let's start right there, number 2. Now, what's the dynamic here? It's forzato. Lord, you're like, Lord, bow thine ear to our prayer. Please listen to us, right? Right? And 1. Lord, bow thine ear to our prayer. That's excellent, right? But, you're missing a dynamic. Diminuendo, right? Lord, bow thy ear to our prayer, right? Tenors and basses don't come in quite yet, right? Let's just do the sopranos now for now, ready? And 1. Lord, bow thine ears to our prayer. Yeah, that's it. You see, it's a completely different affect. Now, the tenors and basses have that literally exact same thing. Sforzatos start a little strong and then diminuendo. Let's try the tenors and basses on bar, I guess it's 2, right? And 1. Lord, yeah. So you go back to the E over and over again. It's getting flatter and flatter. Lord, bow thy ear to our prayer, right? Lord, you have to maintain the E as high. You have to think about getting higher each time, right? Remember, it's like I always view it as like a boat that has a hole in it. You have to constantly think about like trying to get the water out of the boat so the pitch stays elevated. You have to do to support it, and you have to keep sort of refreshing it. You have to think about, it's not a static pitch, because that actually will make it just go flatter, right? And basses and tenors, and 1. Lord, bow thine ear to our prayer. That was like, do you see that? That's so much better. That's fantastic. Now let's do both of them and continuing on, okay? So from the very beginning of this number, but we're going to continue on, right? And 1. Lord, bow thine ear to beautiful. Our prayer. Lord, bow thine ear to our prayer. Yeah. Now this is a terrible note in people's register. This is a terrible note. You have to think much, much higher. We're almost a full quarter tone flat on both, everybody in the room, okay? It's because where you are in the range, it's like trying to figure out where you're trying to place it. So I want you to think about it as much more as a head tone, even though it's actually really quite low, okay? B's are notorious, like the worst note. B's and C's are notoriously the worst notes for altos, but and baritones and basses. You need to think a little bit more head voice because we're super, super flat, right? Let's do a B. Sorry, your entrance, 3rd bar, page 17, right? And 1, 2. Yeah, that's so much great. So can you write in something that reminds us of that? Because this is notoriously a difficult one. And then on top of that, a sforzato, right? You need to feel like we're coming down a little bit so we can crescendo. Lord, bow thy ear to our prayer, right? So don't maintain that dynamic and get half louder. Go hit it, come back down, and then crescendo, okay? That's going to be for both of them because you want the word to be separate. Lord, bow thy ear to our prayer. You're much more fervent this time. You're desperate again. One more time, page 17, 3rd bar. And 1. Lord, bow thine ear to our prayer. Lord, bow thine ear to our prayer. And there's another 1, 2. Lord, bow thine ear to our prayer. And and Yeah, that's excellent. That's great. So sopranos and altos, this piano accent is the softest dynamic you've had to enter. Every single time before it's been suddenly forte, right? So this piano is really, Lord, bound I need to up there, bound I need to up there, or whatever the actual pitches are. Okay, let's do that page 17, bottom system. What's a G? Lord, right? And one. Get ready, and yeah. Titles and basses. Can you make it much more stark? Lord, bound thy ear to up there. See if you can make it completely what we call terrace dynamic, because there's no transition, right? Lord, bound thy ear to up there. Let's just hear the titles and basses. Page 18, second bar, only titles and basses, but sopranos and altos, get ready because we're still going to go on, okay? And one, and. Beautiful. Okay, let's go on. And pianissimo, and. Pianissimo. Okay, ready, sopranos and altos. Suddenly forte. And. Pianissimo. Pianissimo, crescendo. Excellent. Now this is piano, and. Beautiful. Sustain. And yeah, see? All of a sudden, remember, like, the dynamics are there for a reason, and what they do is they tell us how we can approach it dramatically, right? And it's, dynamically great, but there needs to be a reason behind the dynamic change. And because you're in prayer, because you're trying and saying, this is my last, chance to try to, call to God for help, it's a very fervent prayer, right? And then Obadiah comes in, ye people, blend your hearts, and not your garments. Break open your heart, don't rip off your clothes. For your transgression, the prophet Elijah has sealed the heavens. Elijah closed the heavens from the rains for you through the word of God. Then I say to you, forsake your idols, return to God, for he is slow to anger, merciful, and kind and generous, and repent him of evil. So if you were to turn away from your sinful ways, Elijah will open up the heavens again, but he's the one. And then there's this beautiful tenor aria, if with all your hearts you truly seek me, right? And then after that beautiful, beautiful chorus, with such genuine and fervent nature, you say, and yet God doesn't see us, he mocks us. So the more sweet the tenor aria, the more we can contrast and be this sort of a little bit of a mob, a frothy mob. Okay, let's do number 5, cinque. Right, and now 1. Basses, go! Altos, tenors, soprano, and altos, and Basses, in. And altos, tenors, in. In. Sopranos. Basses. In. In. He. In. Breath. In. Double A. Altos, end. Tenors, basses. Sopranos, end. Altos. Yeah. So this is like high school stuff, but like we do this in high schools all the time, I should say. It's not thousands. Say mountain. We don't sing mountain, right? We don't say thousands. So you're saying thousand. Thousands. Thousands. You want to sing on big, open, huge, beautiful vowels, right? Instead of thousands. Are his mercies on thousands fall. His mercies on thousands. I'm singing a full ah vowel, not thousands fall, thousands fall, right? So you cannot think thousandth, okay? It sounds a little bit like, almost like Elmer Fudd. Does he do that? Okay. Let's do page 28. Bottom system. Page 28, bottom system, which is the chorus proper. Now, did we talk about, I forget if we talked about this. Don't drop down to piano, but there does need to be a drop-in dynamic, so maybe drop down to like mezzo forte. It just needs to be still radiant and full and glorious, sunshine coming through the clouds. Right, and Paul, young. And breathe. Yeah. But that's exactly the reason, right? His mercies on thousands. I get this. His mercies on thousands fall. Instead of His mercies on thousands fall. I don't feel like, because you're closing down the vowel so much, and we don't get a big, beautiful vowel, it sounds like it gets softer, okay? You need to get a bigger vowel. Just make it as big, beautiful singing, right? And Paul, and up. And again. And ti 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 la. Yeah. So this is another notorious one. It's not love, it's love. Love. Just open every single vowel to be like Tyrannosaurus Rex, like huge, like big open. Okay. Then that love him, that love him, that love him. It's not Elvis, right? Same place. Beginning. Bottom of page 28. And one. And. That's it. And suspension. And that's it. No. Sorry to stop right there, but that's not the rhythm. Love him and keep. And keep. And keep is not right. And keep his command. You know what you need to sing like? You need to sing like Muppets. Right? It's like every single one is like big, huge whooping. Okay, one more time. And 1, 2. And let it build. And that's it. Silver basses in. Tenors, altos, strums. Tenors and sopranos and Yeah, that's really great. That's really great. So every single time, fall, right? It's one of the first things, like I said, the first things we teach choristers is that when you have in English an unaccented syllable, we tend to close down to a schwa. And as a result, we have to counter that and sing out. It helps the music a lot, okay? And so you need to really work hard for that. Now, Yet That the Lord See It Not is fantastic. It's really, really great. I want to do the middle section, which starts on page 27. Page 27, bottom, which is grave. Now, just like you were just singing, It's so much more beautiful when we connect everything. And for this, it's so much like sort of a transition that's a little bit intense. But when we have like sections where it kind of has Swiss cheese holes in it, it sort of loses the message. Let's try this section. Bottom of page 27, forte and sustained. And yeah, when I think about jealous, God. Not God, but God. Jealous God. Just get your Muppet on. Now, remember, you just came from, till he destroy us. For he the Lord our God, right? This is the full Old Testament vengeance, vengeful. Okay, let's do it one more time. And one. One, two, three. That's it. And time. Krishna, go on. Yeah, good. So as you get softer, don't lose that sort of focused intensity there. So this is one of those instances where you want to maintain that tone. So when we get to C major, that you just become glorious cherubims singing from the sky, right? Now, I think it's the middle of page 28 to the third and the fourth generation. I think we need to think of that more sustained because we're losing in the rhythm sort of body of the notes. We're losing a little bit of the tone, okay? Can we, and then just to codify this so everybody has this in, on the top of page 28 where the fermata is, basically we sing it without fermata, okay? Just cut out the fermata. It's just going to continue, no breath, of course, but it's going to be basically no fermata. And on page 27, just to make sure we codify this too, page 27, you're basically adding 2 beats. For he the Lord our God, he is a jealous God, right? And so just it's going to be the same every single time. But on page 28, where we're going to start at the very beginning, when we get to the fermata, there's basically no fermata. So Paul, if you don't mind, a C minor chord. Page 28, just sing it as if there's no fermata, right? And he visiteth all the fathers in on the children to the third. Oh my goodness. Not only is he going to curse you, but he's going to curse your children, and your children's children, and your children's children. Okay. C minor. 3, 2, and no. Sustain. Go away. That's it. Nice. That's it. Now maintain energy while you and then let Paul lead us in. And the breath. Krishna, rhythm, tati. final fourth and da ti ti ta ta ti ta. That's it, sopranos. Altos with the F sharp and da and da 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 ta ta ti. Sopranos and yeah, really. Now the same thing for this. Make sure it's His mercy is not mercies. Make sure you don't close down too much for that, but it's really gorgeous. Let's read number 7. I don't know if you did this with Derek, but did you do number 7 with Derek? Oh, great. Sight reading for all. For he shall give his aid. Page 33. I have a feeling I take this tempo differently, but 1, 2. N. 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 Breath. Off. Good. Okay. So I do take this. I do take it. I take it like maybe 138 or something like that. And I'll probably do it in 2, Paul. Okay. So a couple of housekeeping things first. Working back from the end. So this is on page 39. All tenors sing your individual line, and all sopranos sing the individual lines. Do you see what I'm talking about? So on page 39, third bar, where the tenor ones only sing "shall protect thee," all tenors should sing that line. So tenor ones and tenor twos, right? Then, at the last bar of page 39, first system, where the tenor ones again only sing and the soprano ones only sing, all the sopranos sing that in the little line, "shall protect thee." Same thing for the tenor twos. Okay? I think that's it. Let's go back to the beginning. For he shall give his angels charge over thee. So, sopranos and altos, this is like a 4-bar phrase. For he shall give his angels. Tenors and basses. That they shall protect thee and all that. You guys just trade off in these beautiful phrases. We'll take them one step at a time. Beginning, page 33. Sopranos and altos only, tenors and basses, we're not going to continue on. But we're going to do it like, for he shall give his angels charge over thee. At that tempo, right? Beginning, and yeah. And one. And one. Yeah, that's beautiful. For no R for that, not for he, but for he shall give his angels charge over thee. The same thing, a little bit southern. Charge over thee. One more time. And then we're going to start from, Paul and I are going to start from the beginning. So you have a full 3 beats before you come in. Ready, and 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, excellent. That's excellent. Let's do the tenors and basses line. Next one, that they shall protect thee in all the ways I go with. And then again, sopranos and altos, we're only going to work with tenors and basses for their line right now. Don't feel free. We're not going to go on, right? But tenors and basses, for this one, I'm just going to give you one, that. Right? And one. Yeah. All the way that goeth. Make sure you sustain that last bar, right, instead of long notes. And then remember, we're doing a little bit faster than we read it. So the same tempo that the sopranos and altos is. So, that they shall protect, they shall protect. Now you have this little crescendo decrescendo. Can I hear that a little bit more? Okay? One more time. Bottom of the page, 33, only tenors and basses. And one. Yeah, almost. That they shall protect thee in all the ways that goeth. Can you go to certain words? So we're going to go to shall. That they shall protect thee in all the ways that go. So all those chord notes, thee in all the way thou go. You're going to go all the way to the word goeth. Okay? One more time. And one. And da ti. Yeah. So tenor twos, you need to be much higher in pitch. It's the biggest whole step in the world, okay? But that's much better. So when we have certain words that sort of give us direction, then all the other words in the sentence help propel us towards that. It was so much better in phrasing. When we do sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses from the beginning and continuing on, okay? I don't want to spend too much more time I do want to read through a little bit more, but we'll do this for now, right? And beginning. And yeah. Breathe. And. 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 All right. Yeah. Yeah. So please stop earlier. There, you have to be sure when you have D sharps going to D naturals that the chords are very distinct, okay? Now, can we start from the bottom of page 33? Sopranos and altos are going to do their second entrance, and then we'll continue reading, okay? Paul, do you mind playing a little bit just so they can hear what this is going on? Page 33, last couple bars, but going into the harmonies of the next section, okay? And suddenly change. No, D natural. Yeah, Paul's reading like 8 lines at the same time. It's really good. The key thing is that there's all these weird suspensions that are really difficult, but you need to make sure that D naturals and D sharps for everybody is really hard because that's what he changes each time. Okay, let's start there. We're going to start from page 33. Sopranos and altos. And we'll give you downbeat again, and we'll go ta, 4. Ready? And 1. Change. B bigger. Good. Good stuff right there. Good. Let's hear the. Let's actually hear the basses and tenors. Only page 34, third bar. Basses and tenors, third bar. Now, what we're looking for is for the 2 tenor lines that have the suspension. So, Paul, do you mind playing that just for a second? And all 4 chords. Yeah. Oh, do you hear that? So second tenors get a nice little suspension there. Let's do that. Tenors and basses, right? And 1. Yeah, do you hear that? Now second tenors, what's a B natural? That they shall protect thee. So you're going to crescendo into protect thee. So you go into the suspension. One more time. And 1. Yeah, do you hear that? That's great. Now the next one, the sopranos and altos, at the last 2 bars of the top system, you have this A major, right? And then you have this nice clash at the bottom of the page, first downbeat, right? And then you have this nice suspension between the soprano 1s and soprano 2s. Paul, do you mind playing just their 4 voice parts, starting from the top of page 34, last 2 bars? Yeah, A major. Yeah, do you hear that? Whether it's a C sharp versus a C natural, it gives a beautiful suspension. Let's just do sopranos and altos, top of page 34, last 2 bars. Right? And 1. Yeah, okay. So these beautiful, this is beautiful choral writing, homophonic writing, but with a lot of chord, a lot of suspensions. Let's do this same thing, tenors and basses, starting from page 34, third bar, what we just rehearsed, but continuing on with all 8 voice parts. So sopranos, altos coming in, but everybody continuing on. Page 34, third bar. And Paul and I will start on the downbeat, so you'll just get 1 beat prep. And 1. And. And bass and center. He shall give his angel, and their hand shall uphold them guide. And. And. All tenors. All tenors, and. All sopranos and tenors, and. And everybody, and. Off. Yeah. And then, so just note that your last note is not as long as you want it to be. Make sure you count 1 and 2 and off. Now this at the very end, suddenly the orchestra drops out quite a bit, and when they come back in, it's very soft. So just be aware at the end of this chorus, it can be very difficult because it feels flat out a cappella, okay? And so we'll be doing a lot of work on this. I know this is like sort of the first week we looked at this, which is great. What we're going to do is, in the pattern of how we work on this, is that, for instance, we're not going back to the first chorus now for several weeks. We do a heavy bit of learning for things, we reinforce it, but then after that, you have to remember that obviously there's 22 choruses, and we've gone through like, a quarter of them. Our goal is to we'll do 7 a lot next week as well, but we probably won't touch 1 and 2 for a little while, and then we'll go back and remind ourselves. But for now, in our little time before our break, that's why we read, not 9, we'll do that a little bit later. Let's do page 56. Page 56. Now, I would characterize everything that we just rehearsed at the beginning, sort of like the first scene. We are now firmly into the second scene. The second scene is Elijah going against the crowds to try to convince them to obey God or follow God and to destroy their idols and everything, and they just don't want to do it. Right? So they know that Elijah is the one that closed up the heavens. And so when you see him, you say, "Thou art Elijah, thou he that troubleth Israel." You're the one that's the cause of all this thing. It's not our, lack of faith. It's you, right? So let's do this start here, right? About this fast. Thou art Elijah, thou he that troubleth Israel. Right? Here we go. C minor. I'll give you 1, 2, 3, breathe, okay? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's good. So again, same thing. It's quite sort of sustained and direct and pointed at the same time. I say more spit than sort of yell. So thou art Elijah, like thou thy tra. Now ta 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 ta. Don't swing it. Okay. Can you play just chord notes for now? Ta 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 ta. Okay. Yeah. So Paul's not going to play. Paul's just going to play chord notes, but you have ta 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 ta. Right. Right. 1, 2, 1, 2, and. No, that's swung. Ta 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 ta. Not thou art Elijah. Ba ba da ba da ba da. Thou art Elijah. Right. Right. 2 and. Yeah, that's not right. Ta ti ta ta. Sorry, I'm allergic to triplets. Right? Ta 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 ta. Just sing the ta 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 ta. Right. So I think to help, you should accent the eighth note. Ta 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 ta. Right. Let's just do that. Just sing ta. Do and. Ta 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 ta. No. So what I hear is ta 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 ta. I want ta 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 ta. Right? I don't know if you hear the difference. What I don't want, I'm going to exaggerate a lot more, is ta 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 ta. What I want is ta 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 ta. The third one you need to accent more. The eighth note. Ta 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 ta. Right? Right? Here we go. Just sing it like ta. 2 and. Ta 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 ta. Now that's not swung. That's perfect. That is not swung. Before you're what we call whatever. It's not a technical term, but you're crowding the notes a little bit too much. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. It's much more spread out. There's much more space. Okay. Now do it on the pitches and the words. Thou art Elijah. Right. Ready? 1, 2, and done. Yeah, that's right. That's not swung anymore. Okay, that's right. And fastest is a little weird, but that's okay. Okay, let's do it. The entire thing. Ready? Paul's still playing chord notes, but you're going to continue on with all the lines. Ready? 1, 2, and. Yeah, but the same one. Thou, he, that, tra. The same thing. You started swinging that one too. Okay. Well, no. One last time. We can do it. Thou art Elijah, thou, he, that, tra. Listen, real. Right? That's right. With text. With text, with music, with Paul. 1, 2, and. Almost. Let's do it once slowly just to see what happens. Ta 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 pa pa pa. And Paul, can you play A notes? Ta 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 pa 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 pa. Right? 1, 2. So do one full bar C minor. Ta 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 and. Okay. And ta 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 and. Yeah, that's it. That's my show. Okay, let's take or announcements first and then break, or announcements and then break.
Hello, everybody. Hey. Thanks, everybody, for being here. It's great to have this big a turnout. We haven't had this many people in the Arlington in a long time. Thank you for indulging us or being patient or tolerating the cool air. We've been carefully watching the air levels in the room, and we do think it's important that we have the doors and windows open. I think it works. It's better for all of us that we do. It allows us to keep singing in the rehearsal. Two short announcements. One is that a sectional schedule is forming. There'll be news about that in the coming weeks, but the first two sectionals, the first one will be a soprano-only sectional. The second one will be an alto-only sectional. You can guess which two will follow those. But the first of those will be sopranos on March 12 and altos on March 19, so we have a little time. We thought we'd start sectionals a little later in the semester this time. We got some feedback and observed that not that many singers came to them if we had them in the first month. So we'll get some work on some movements and then perhaps have more attendance and more productive sessions by starting a few weeks later than we did last semester. So there'll be news about that coming. I also heard Ming talk about what movements he might focus on next week. I didn't take very good notes, so I'm going to go ask him about that again, and we will repeat that information before the end of rehearsal. So I think that's it for announcements. Have a good break. Thank you. Okay. Time for the second half. Soon. Da, 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 da. Okay, if you're in the back, please try to come forward and take your seats. We can start again. Okay, I have news about next week's rehearsal, or a recap of what Ming said. So next Monday we will put this in chorus notes. We'll put it on the website, but if you're thinking ahead, next Monday movements 7, 11, 12, 13, and 15. So 7, 11, 12, 13, and 15, and maybe more, but that's at least a start. Okay? That's enough? Okay. Ellen says that's enough. We're good. All right, thank you.
Okay, is this on? Yeah. So, like I mentioned, come on, let's get back. Like I mentioned, we're in scenes. And this next scene is Ahab and all the people that worship Baal versus Elijah. And so it's a confrontation, and he challenges which God is going to be mightier and have rain come down from the heavens during the drought. So like I mentioned, at the very beginning of page 56, where we just sang, Thou art Elijah, thou he that troubleth Israel. That is, of course, the first confrontation. You see him for the first time, okay? Now, turn the page to page 58. Well, actually, never mind. Let's do, Paul, do you mind, Paul 57, second system, now send and gather to me, send and gather to me the whole of Israel. Can we just do that? Can you play his line too, if that's possible? And this just follow. And so he says, okay, we're going to throw down the gauntlet, we're going to challenge each other. So he goes, and now send, and gather to me, send and gather to me the whole of Israel, unto Mount Carmel. There's always the prophets about Jerusalem, who are feasted at Jezebel's table. Then we shall see whose God is Lord. And And so you respond to him. So when we get to the bottom of page 57, that tempo is a straight tempo, and it's the same tempo that you sing. So let's practice that right now. So at bottom of page 57, last 3 bars, then we shall see the ta, just straight up. Ta, 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 who God is, and go. Rise and ye priests of Baal, talk to them. So back. Okay, now, and then we shall see. Please don't swing it. Please don't swing it. Let's do top of 58, right? 2, 3, 4, 1. Shall see, not shall see. I hear, and then we shall see, and then we shall see, ta, 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 right? Right, one more time, and 1. Yeah, almost. Can you divorce those 2 words? And then we shall see, not Chelsea. It's not Chelsea, right? And 1. Sorry, one more time. And 1. Yeah, that's it. That's rhythm. That's rhythm. That's actual rhythm now, and not just sort of reaction. Okay? And then he says, fine, rise, have your priest come up, select a bowl, and we'll put no fire, and who will see, and you see the bottom of page 58, Allegro vivace, and by God, who by fire shall answer, let him be God. And then you see the same thing, yea, and the God, who by fire shall answer, let him be God. Okay? So we're going to start at the bottom of page 58. And God, right? And 2. And the God who by fire shall answer, let him be. And then we'll slow down those bars a little. So, problem with this is that it's not a unison line, so you're going to have to pull the notes out of nowhere, but here are the pitches for the beginning of your chorus. Page 59, second. Right? And yeah, so that chord, let him be God, is a little weird. Let's just hear that chord. Let the last 3 bars. So altos, you have a weird note there, okay? Let's just try the last 3 bars. Let. All right, one of those chord again. 2 and yeah. Now remember, there's a forte, piano, right? See if we can do that, right? 2 and yeah, but why is it going to piano? There's 2 ways you can do it. Well, there's a billion ways you can do it, right? You could be that you are hesitant of your faith in your, God. But I tend to think that at the very beginning of this confrontation, you should be a little bit like confrontational. Let him be God. I think you should have accents on those, and it should be angry but soft, right? Let him be God, right? Let's do that one more time, those last 3 bars. 2 and yeah, but it would be nice to be in tune. Let him be God. God, the D. Just sing your D. Play the D. Right? And just last note and Sorry. Yeah, see, that's like a quarter tone flat. God, just the last note, the D. Unison D. 2 and God. Yeah, you have to think a little bit higher, okay? Right, 2 and God. Yeah. I think the difficulty is when we want to sing intense and low, it kind of pulls it down a little bit. So you need to think much more forward and sort of pingy, God, and sort of nasal, and that's going to help, right? Let's do it from the beginning of that line, which is page 59, second system. 2 and God. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, now, you're missing a huge dynamic thing. Piano, crescendo to forte. See if we can get that, okay? Remember, you're staring at him, like challenging him. There's one person challenging all of you. How dare he, right? One more time. 2 and done. And answer. Teapot. Fine. Call first upon your God. Okay, that's good. Can we do now from page 58, last system, his entrance into the chorus? Okay, here we go. At the bottom of page 58, same thing you just sang, but with the introduction. Okay, and the God who by fire shall answer, let him be God. And crescendo. Yeah, that's still forte, trombones, brass, and it should be very solemn. Ta, ti, ta, ta. So, ansa, not answer, but ansa, ansara, ansa, okay? And then, can I have more F? Can I have more fire and fire? Yea, and the God who by fire shall answer, let him be God. You want that word, remember, you have the sacrifice that's sitting on the rock, and it said, whoever's God strikes down that sacrifice and lights it on fire is a true God, right? And so that's what the challenge is, okay? You have a bolo sitting on the rock. Here we go. One more time. Yea, and the God. 2 and done. Call first upon your God. Your numbers are many. Only one remain, the one prophet of the Lord. And then he's sarcastic here. He's like, invoke your forest gods and your mountain deities, whatever they are. And then you get really mad at them, and let's try number 11. Okay. Ta 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 ta. Mendelssohn does not write very angry music. Okay. There you go. He tries so hard. There's so much privilege. Yeah, he was the most privileged of the privileged. So, okay. And 1, 2. Hear us fall, hear mighty God, fall to us. Hear us fall, hear mighty God, fall to us. Oh, let the flames fall and extirpate the foe, and let the flames fall and exterminate the foe. And hear us fall, hear mighty God, hear answer us. Let the flames fall and exterminate the foe. And let thy flames fall and exterminate the foe. And hear us fall, hear mighty God, 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 oh hear us fall, hear us fall, hear us fall, and and basses, tenors, altos, tenors, basses, hear us, and then he makes fun of you. Call him louder, for he is a God. He talketh, or he is pursuing. Oh, that's just cruel. Or he is on a journey, or perhaps a venture. He sleepeth, and awaken him. Call him louder, call him louder. And then ta 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 ta. Wait, ti da ba ba. Why are these tempo markings coming out? Maybe we're just wrong. Okay, da ta. Okay, it's in ta 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 ta. Hear a cry over. Here we try. Ready and da. And cry. Oh, hear a altos. And sopranos. Now and now and yeah, it's quick and difficult, right? So you have to think in two. I'm like 196 or so. He, ha, cry, oh, he. Every single note with a little bit of accent. Now arise, now arise, now arise. Wherefore slumber, now arise. So just make sure that the z is there. Okay, let's try it one more time. And cheat it. And cry, and now. Sopranos. Yeah, So just a note what Christian said about the numbers that we're working on, that's all of 12, right? So when there's like 5 or 6 movements and you're like, oh my God, there's a lot, we just like did all of 12. That's it, okay? So remember, this is part of a large scene where he just challenges you over and over again. What I want to do is just kind of run through some of these just so you get an idea of what it's like. So turn the page, 13. Call him louder. He doesn't hear you. With knives and lancets, why don't you sacrifice yourself after your manner, leap yourself onto the altar, call him and prophecy. Not a voice will answer you. Your God will not listen to you because he doesn't listen. He's not real. Okay, and so here and answer. This is going to be a long one to read, but let's try it. Let's see what happens. Oh, this is fast. Sorry, Paul. Ready? Here we go. Let's do F minor, F sharp minor. Ready? 1, 2, and and here and answer ball and here and answer ball and mark out the score and here and answer and here and answer and here and answer ball. Mark out the score here and answer and here and answer ball. Here and answer. Big break because he doesn't answer you. There we go. And 1. And then that's when, that's great. And that's when you have one of the most famous arias of all time, right? Where he says, no. See, your God has not answered you. Let me tell you about the true God. So he sings, continuing on, draw near of peace to know. Yeah, see, it's so gorgeous. So all that vitriol, all that antagonism, all that fight, and then he sings one of the most beautiful. This is like one of the centerpiece arias of the piece. Okay, so hear and answer, hear and answer, right? It sounds like you're in the Navy. Hear and answer. Okay. Let's do this is a hard one to do, but what I'll do is do it slowly. Page 70. Oh, do we have time? We have time. Yeah, page 70. 70, 70. About this fast. Hear and answer ball. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Right. 2 and go. And hear and answer. Tenors. Sopranos. You did it there. So, okay, let's go back and do page 73, middle system. Now, technically, if you were to have English diction professor staring over you with big eyebrows and, gaze, it's he, and answer. He, okay? But we're not going to do it. Just do it. He and answer. He and answer. Okay? He and answer. He and answer. He and answer. Okay. Answer. Answer. That means something in some language. Okay. Let's do 73, middle system. Sopranos and altos starting first on the second half of the first bar. So we'll go 1. He and answer. Right? There we go. And then the tenor and bass ones. Da da. Right? 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. And so remember with the fermatas, just look up so we do it together. Don't have any preconceived notion of how long they're going to be because otherwise somebody's going to move them. He and answer. You just need to be very British, okay? Ball is the German version. It's actually bail, but I don't want to do that. Let's just do ball. Okay, let's do 73. One more time, right? 2 and 1. That was great. I've never had any chorus ever when I say it needs to be more British, and all of a sudden it sounded like very British. It was like insanely British. That was great. That was really great. Almost too British, but I'd be like, that was really very shocking. Okay, so again, we're just kind of surveying these choruses to go into depth next week because this is what we're going to be working on is this scene, right? But let's do number 15 because number 15 is after you hear Elijah say, your God is not real, come to me, let me tell you about true God, then this is one of the most beautiful pieces. And this is a straight chorale in the style of Bach that Mendelssohn wrote in the middle of this, the same way that it would be for anything. So, let's do, but this is page 77. Now, for now, can we just sing this on oo? Do, 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 do. Okay? 2, and on do. Ready? 1, 2. Please sing on do only. N. Paul for the last part, pa-dum, pa-da-da, is really the melody. So we'll try to accentuate E flat in that. Yeah, exactly. So the reason why we do what we do is because when we have people sing chorales, any chorus, they default to the every Sunday sort of non-musical kind of mass sing. And what we want to do is create this like idyllic choir that sings with intention, with the words and all that kind of stuff. So when I oftentimes do chorales, we want to get the tone first and then add the words into it. We want the chords to line up, we want the phrasing, we want the harmonies to all match through. So it's not just kind of do, 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 upon the Lord. And okay, we want to make these music. We have to counter what like is often done. Okay, so gorgeous. Okay, and then what happens? And then fire happens. We have a barbecue. The fire descends from heaven. The fire descends from heaven. We're not doing this one, but I just want you to note that this is a very, very difficult one. We have 10 minutes left. Yeah. Well, no. That's the fighting chariots are not a barbecue. Elijah goes off into the sky. Okay, so that's not a sacrifice. Well, actually, it is. But regardless, this is a very exciting one, and Mendelssohn always has these things about fire, and like a lot of his works. But it's really, really great. We might add this one, so just note that I don't think Christian actually said 16 because I didn't think we'd get there, right? But we might do 16. So if you want to look at this one, that'd be good. Okay, go back to number 9. 9, big number 9. 48. 48.
Okay, it's been a couple weeks since we've done this one, so let's read a little bit and see if we remember some of our lovely phrasing and our very almost too British pronunciation. Here we go. Let's take that section, unless you have something to say, something to add.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's go back to the beginning. We talked earlier a little bit about going towards certain words. So in the soprano phrase, we want to go to blessed are the men who fear him. Go to fear, and then go to the word walk. So those are kind of the two high points of your phrase. But then tenors, when you have something different, right? So you're going to go again to the word fear, but then instead of going to walk, you're going to go to ways, because that's the high point of your phrase. It has a different contour. So give it that different shape. And then at the top of page 49, sopranos kind of round out that phrase. So the tenor phrase crescendos a little bit, it builds in tension, and the sopranos have the kind of tail end leading into the alto melody. Can we go from the beginning again? Very nice. And then continue. Okay, except this happened the first time too. At the end of the second system on page 49, there's a subito piano that we just kind of ignored, like it wasn't there. So make sure we come away in dynamic a little bit at the end of the second system, page 49. Let's start on the tenor entrance. So page 48, third system, beat 3 of the first bar. 1. There. So starting from page 50, the third system, second measure, can you all write on your entrances from that point poco marcato? So there should be a little bit of heaviness to these quarter notes, a little bit of space between them. So almost like you're marching up a hill a little bit, like you're working really hard to like get to the summit of a mountain, and it just has to have a little bit more intention behind it and a little bit more kind of force behind each note as we get up to the quarter note, and then it's like the sun like bursts out as you get to the top of the phrase. So give it more direction and then really let it go when it comes to the top. Can we start right on that spot? Page 50, third system, second measure. Yeah. Yeah, so make sure there as well, sustain all the way, don't decrescendo until after the downbeat. Same thing goes for the sopranos. Let's go to the same spot. And sustain. page 53, last system, don't decrescendo till after the downbeat. Can we start right on that measure? Page 53, last system. Here we go. Once again at the same spot. So page 53, right on the first measure. Last system, page 53, first measure. Make sure that we do not decrescendo at this measure until after the downbeat. Yeah. Ready. Really tender. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you to everybody who helped set up, and thank you if you can help put away chairs. If you have time, help us put folding chairs that are the modern brown painted nice looking ones go on this rack. The older looking ones go on a rack that will pull into the back of the room. And the cushy ones with the lots of cushion, they go against the side walls, too high against the side walls. Thank you.